Shalom, shalom. This is your brother Shamak out of the Great Millstone Atlanta camp. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory, infinite praises unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name and his only begotten Son's true name being Yahweh Shai, both in the Hebrew language of whom the world incorrectly and ignorantly called God and Jesus Christ. Also, I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well and who are the true leaders of the Hebrew Israelites within these last days. And also, I want to give a shalom to the hopeful elect believers and teachers that's pushing this truth all around the world. Shalom. All right. Here with a lesson concerning the customs of Easter. All right. And that it is not in the Bible, but truly the true custom of the true ways of our heritage and our culture as a people is truly concerning or is misconceptualized as Easter, but it's truly Passover. All right, it truly would be should be truly called Passover. All right, which we are in the season of now. All right, and then Passover is what, when the Israelites in the time of Egypt, we were in captivity and slavery under the Egyptians. All right, and then under the king of Pharaoh. All right, when the Lord passed over the Israelites and put forth judgment, put that last plague of killing the Egyptians firstborn, okay. All right, in that time of our captivity. All right, and the Israelites were what? Allowed to escape into the wilderness. We were delivered, okay? And we are to commemorate and bring forth remembrance of this history, all right, each year. All right, and to be exact, the 14th day of the new year. All right, of that new start of the new year by the lunar count through that new moon. All right, through the month of Abib. All right, which we're in that season right now. Okay, and that's even on the Ish people's calendar. All right, of April 1st. It's even on their calendar. All right, but we're the true Israelites, and they're pretending to be the Israelites. They're pretending to be us, the small hats, that is, the people that are in that land, over in that land of Israel today. Those are not the true people. They're pretending to be us, man. And they even have the world following after ways of Easter. This, a bunny laying eggs, the kids playing. But truly, that's not the true way of life. That's not the truth. If one cares about the truth, really, you're gonna want to understand what the scriptures are really talking about when it comes to Easter, when it comes to Passover. So this is Acts chapter 12, where you will find the word. Because when you type it in, let's type it in real quick, just to show that, just to prove it. You type in Easter, it's going to show up one time. All right, so it's going to show up one time in the entire Bible, right? So Acts chapter 12. So let's go to that chapter, right? So Acts chapter 12, and this goes into the account of Peter's arrest and his deliverance. All right, in the time of King Herod, Edomite. All right, in Rome. Okay. So this is Acts chapter 12, verse 1, and it reads, "Now at that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church." Yeah, that's irritation, that's persecution. Messing with the believers of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, the Israelites, that is. Verse 2, "And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also," because you had wicked Israelites hating on those that are righteous, hating on the prophets, hating on the men of the Lord, as we have today. You have those that mock and talk their shit about the Hebrew Israelites that teach the truth according to the Bible on the highways and the byways in the cities near you. It's the same, likewise, as it was before. The same spirits are back today because of reincarnation. All right. Verse 3, it reads, because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. So this shows you the season, the time that we're in. This is the time of Passover. And you will find this history, all right, in the account or in the book of Exodus in the chapter 12. All right. So we're gonna have that queued up. But just to get to the point with Acts chapter 12, verse 4, it reads, "And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 cornerings of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people." Now you dive into the word. This is why our apostles and our elders and our leadership advise us and encourage us and motivates us to what? Dive into the origin of these words, because this is where you grab more understanding of what you're reading and what you're studying and what you're believing. Okay? So diving more into that word Easter in the Greek, you get the word what?
Strong's G 3957. Pascha. Pascha.
Pascha, pronounced in the Greek. Okay, what? The Paschal service, or it's like a sacrifice. It says, which is accustomed to be offered for the people's deliverance of old from Egypt. For whose deliverance? The Israelites. See? It says the lamb the Israelites were accustomed to slay and to eat on the 14th day of the month of the sun. All right, which truly is I think it's truly the month of the first month is truly Abib. Okay, the 14th day of the first month of the year. That's true. That's the remembrance of Passover. Okay, that's what's commanded by the Lord to the Israelites to keep, to rehearse. All right, to bring to keep that remembrance. The same likewise that these wicked holidays keep that remembrance of what? Thanksgiving into your brain, Christmas into your brain, 4th of July into your brain. But what about Passover? You know, your true history. All right. But this word, this goes into truly going to, look, it says the feast of Passover. Okay. So the Easter being here is truly a stumbling block. It's truly going to Passover. All right, going into our history of Israelites, man. Going to our Israelite history of us being saved and delivered out of the land of the land of Ham, out under the hand of the Egyptians, under those Africans that had us in slavery. This is Exodus chapter 12, and let's show that. Let's go to the previous chapter, Exodus chapter 11, before grabbing this chapter, Exodus chapter 12. This is Exodus chapter 11. Verse verse 7. All right, so this is Exodus chapter 11 verse 7, and it reads, but against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man nor beast, that he may know how that the Lord doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. See, the Lord put a difference. Okay, we're totally different people. We're not the same people, which is the reason why we are in captivity in that land in the first place. All right, because they understand we are not the same people. All right, we were in bondage. All right, we were in captivity. We were serving a hard labor. All right, but getting to the point where you will find the account of Passover will be in the book of Exodus chapter 12. All right, let me get the point. Exodus chapter 12, verse because this is going to how you keep the Passover. All right. I want to get that word Passover. This is show. All right. This should be it here, because I want to be able to show that it's the same word that you will find with Easter in the book of Acts chapter 12. It's the same word, Pesach. That is right. Passover in the Hebrew, Pesach. Okay, Pesach. All right. What it says, the sacrifice of Passover. The festival of Passover. That's the same definition you will find in the book of Acts chapter 12. It's the same. We were just speaking a different language because we were Hellenized. All right, in the time of Exodus, we were speaking Hebrew, our native tongue. In the time of Rome, all right, we were Hellenized. We were speaking Greek. The same likewise today, how we're speaking English and how we're being Americanized. It's the same thing. All right. So this Easter being here in the book of Acts chapter 12 is truly a stumbling block. Okay? But it's truly going into what? Passover. All right? So Exodus chapter 12 verse this brings the point home even more as well. Because Acts chapter 12 touches on what? That these were, in verse 3, that these were the days of what? Unleavened bread. Okay? Unleavened bread, because that's spiritual, that's a spirit, it has a spiritual significance. A moral immorality, okay, spiritual immorality of what? Because leaven, a little leaven, like the scriptures describe, a little leaven leavened the whole lump. All right, because these demons, and when wicked immorality grows into your spirit, it becomes worse and worse over time. All right, so that unleavened bread is that cleansing, it's that cleansing agent, But let me get I wonder what part I really want to read, but Exodus chapter 12, But truly, I just want to grab the word because this whole entire chapter of Exodus chapter 12 goes into Passover and how to keep it and what to do to keep it the correct way in the eyes of the Lord. But we know in today's time that what? We're under the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai. Due to his sacrifice, he's that lamb now. He's that blood of the wine that we drink. He's that bread, that way of life. Okay? He's the lamb. He's that sacrificial lamb. We bring that remembrance to Yahweh Shai now. You know? So I just wanted to show, this is show, and it's truly what? Memorial of redemption, you know? Like this chapter, these subheadings touch on. All right? So just to touch on those few quick words of Passover, to show that, hey, this Feast of Unleavened Bread, it comes from the account of Exodus chapter 12 and how we were delivered, how the Israelites were delivered out of the hands of the Egyptians. Just that simple. All right? So this has nothing to do with a bunny. The scriptures doesn't speak about a bunny. It doesn't speak about laying eggs. This goofy, this distraction. It just lies and it has deceived our people. And our people are going to take part into Easter this weekend. That's why we bring forth the true understanding for those that actually care and that has a logical mind to understand what's being taught to them, to come out of that bullshit. That is because it's ultimately bullshit. It's a lie. Would you rather live your life in a lie, or would you rather just embrace the truth, deal with the fact that you've been lied to your entire life, and now live your life going forward in truth? But that's the red pill, blue pill, okay? But this is the true understanding behind the word Easter in the book of Acts chapter 12. All right, it truly aligns with Passover, of the Israelites' Passover, that is, of our history, of our deliverance. All right, simple as that. And there will be another Passover again because what? Yahweh Shai is coming back. Yahweh Shai is coming back. We're looking to be delivered out of America. All right, let's get that with Jeremiah chapter 5, and I ended off there. This Jeremiah chapter 5, verse what was it, 20? Wait, man, hold on. Jeremiah, I know it's Jeremiah chapter 16 for sure. I just grabbed Jeremiah 16, man. What am I thinking? What am I thinking about? Jeremiah 23? Hold on. Salaki. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Jeremiah 23. Salaki. So this is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 5, and it reads, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth." And that's what Yahweh Shai is about to you see it's a capital K, capital B. Verse 6, "In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt." Because what? That's that Passover, where the Lord passed over the Israelites and judged the Egyptians. That's Easter. That's a stumbling block for our people, man. Verse 8. That word there is truly a Pesach, like we showed in the Greek and the Hebrew. It says, "But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country." What's that? America. Which is the reason why. That's why it's no coincidence, or it's not random that you have so many Israelites in the land of America prophesying, believing, because deliverance is coming, destruction is coming. It says, "And from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land," because we're scattered all around the world. See, but that huge deliverance is going to come out of America. That's why you see, it's that distinction. It's specified for a reason. All right. So with that, I'm gonna end it off there by giving all the glory, infinite praises unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Repent. Yahweh Shai is coming back. Yahweh Shai is coming back. All right. Shalom. Keep the faith. Shalom.